Viewers all over the world, I greet you in the name of Jesus Christ. Today, I want to talk about what destroys marriage. I've got 16 nuggets. What destroys marriage. Before we go anywhere else, I will start with a verse, a chapter. James 1 verse 18. Of his own will brought us forth by the word of truth, that he might be a kind of first fruit of his creature. So then, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath, for the wrath of man does not produce the righteousness of God. Therefore, lay aside all filthiness and the overflow of wickedness, and receive with meekness the implanted word, which is able to save your soul. Be swift to hear. It's talking about tongue. Don't be quick to talk. Don't be quick to talk. Before you talk, you must breathe in and breathe out, which means you must think before you talk. Here we want to talk about what destroys marriages. Number one, spiritual husbands. Spiritual husband, you cannot see it, but it might be spiritual husband or spiritual wife. You see yourself in dream, sleeping with another man, a different man, not your husband, or a different wife. It's not only to wives only who can have a spiritual husband, or even men, he can have a spiritual wife. So this thing, you will not have an affection to your husband. When your husband is not there, you feel love. When he is there, you feel unhappy. You always accusing him. But it's spiritual. So you need prayers to break this spiritual husband. You need prayer. This thing is destroying a lot of marriages. And the other one, they are fighting with this spiritual husband, because spiritually you are married to a man spiritually, but physically you have got your own husband. So you need to pray against this spiritual husband or spiritual wife. As long as you dream yourself sleeping with the other man and you don't have an affection to your husband, this is a spiritual husband. Number two, pride. Pride destroys marriage. Pride destroys marriage. Pride destroys marriage. A lot of marriages, they destroyed because of pride. Proverbs 12, verse 18. Therefore, one who speaks like the piercings of a sword, but the tongue of the wise promotes health. The truthful lip shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. A lying tongue. And 13 verse 10. By pride comes nothing but strife, but with the well advised is wisdom. We are talking of a pride. If you have a pride, you don't listen. If you have a pride, you don't want to be corrected. Spirit of unteachable spirit. You say, I know everything. and you are full of I don't care. So that spirit of pride leads to arguments because you will not listen. People will fight. Pride, not you. If you have pride, you don't ask for forgiveness. So learn to apologize. Learn to apologize. Remove pride in your marriage. Remove pride in your marriage. Pride destroys marriage. Pride leads to arguments. So if you don't know how to say sorry, you have a spirit of pride. And that spirit of pride, you are unteachable. You don't even listen. What you say is correct. So it's a spirit, and you need someone to tell you that you have got a spirit of pride. You don't even feel sympathy, empathy, or forgiveness. So stay away from pride. Stay away from pride. Learn to apologize. Number 3, being defensive. When we are talking being defensive, you don't have a humble heart. You are like an advocate. When you are an advocate, you are advocate at work, you are a manager at work, director at work, but when you come at home, you must be submissive to what God said. When we are at dialogue or discussing something, we are there to solve the problem, not to win the argument. So don't be defensive. Wherever you know that you are wrong, you must admit. Don't be defensive. So you must have a humble heart. Each and every person has got a blind spot or weakness which you cannot see. You need your partner, your wife, to tell you that you have got such weakness. You can't see that blind spot. You need your wife to tell you that you have got this weakness. Then you accept it. Work out your character. If you hear about your bad character, don't be stubborn. You must learn to listen to your partner. It kills your affection. It kills your partner's affection. Learn to listen. And if you hear that you are wrong there, accept it. Number 4, ungrateful. You don't have a spirit of contentedly, a spirit of gratitude. You don't have that. You don't appreciate. You must appreciate whatever your husband did or buy to you. You must appreciate. You must appreciate him. Or you are over demanding. You just go to common sense. What does common sense mean? So be grateful, not ungrateful. Appreciate what you have, the life you have. If you admire the life of next door, they have got their own life, and you don't know how do they get there, what they have. So appreciate what you have. Number 5, listen. There is no a school or a college or a university where they teach people to listen. You must have a humble heart. Learn it to pay attention. When your husband is talking, you continue to talk, shouting, raising your voice, which is bad. Learn to listen. Learn to listen. You learn it. If you don't listen, it causes problem. Pay attention. If you don't pay attention, great problem starts. Great problem starts. If you don't listen to your husband or your wife, you are listening to who? You are listening to who? We are saying you must listen something which is sensible. It's not about everything. Something which is sensible. And you remember, your wife created she's there as your helper. She's there as your helper. So don't kick her away, because God said you need a helper as a man. So that helper, you must listen to that helper. That is your wife. Number 6, we argue with emotions, not idea. Don't let your argument or your emotions lead you to arguments, but you must have a constructive argument. Constructive argument. Don't just argue, but whatever you argue, it must be constructive. Not your emotions, using anger. Anger does not help. Anger does not help. But anger leads to fighting, arguments, nagging, bad words which are defiling is bad. So control your emotions. Control your emotions. If you know that you are unhappy, don't allow your emotions to lead you. Don't allow your emotions to lead you. Number 7, abusing. You feel that you are abused. Your husband is beating you emotionally, is abusing you emotionally, verbal, is abusing you. Or even wife, they are doing it. So you don't know if you are being selfish to my rights. Let us talk about sex. If you are being selfish, which means you are abusing your husband also. People of God do not abuse each other. People of God is not abusing each other. So listening, you must quick to listen. Always listen before you speak. Always listen before you speak. You must know that. And we are commanded by God to have peace. We are commanded by God to have peace. We are commanded by God to have peace. It's God who say we must have peace. But if you don't admit or to accept, you think that always I'm right. I'm right. You can't tell me anything else. I know I'm always right, which is bad. James 3 verse 17. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, willing to yield, full of mercy, and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. Now the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. We are talking of peace. We must have peace in our marriage. We must have peace, which means a good communication. People with self-control, people who are gentle, not those who are just talking, not those who are just talking what they want, full of pride. So there's a saying which says, a Chinese proverb, we say, seek to understanding before seek to be understood. You want to be understandable, but seek to understand first before you need to be understood. So be very careful. Number 8, don't be impatient. Marriage need people who are patient. If you are impatient, which means it causes problem. A lot of people, that's why you see them divorcing, because there's a different problems there. How do you solve your problem, your conflicts? How do you solve them? You need patience. In marriage, don't expect one partner to change and you must change also. You must change also. So don't be impatient. Number 9, speak the truth in love. Don't lie. Speak the truth in love. Whatever you are saying, your husband is wrong, your wife is wrong, speak the truth in love. Truth without love is to be resisted. If you speak the truth without love, it's going to be resisted. Wise words heals. Truth with love received. So whatever you say, use a lovely words. Number 10, fix the problem, not the blame. When we are at dialogue, we want to fix the problem. When we are at dialogue, we want to fix the problem, not the blame. Always you are wrong, always you are wrong, always you are wrong. But you must ask yourself why your partner is complaining. You must correct yourself. Correct yourself. The attacking issue. You attack your partner or labeling your partner. Focus on your reconciliation, restoring relationship, promote it. When you are discussing something which is broken or misunderstand, focus on that to restore that relationship. So you need people who understand. If you don't use understanding, it's going to be problem. So be focused, whatever you are talking about. And we are saying marriage is for mature people. Number 11, money destroys marriage. A lot of people, they are facing problem because of money. They are divorcing because one is not working, then they divorce. You see, because she's working, she say, I'm gonna go and do my own life there. Big problem. You must have clue about the money, the personality in the money. Are you a saver or a spender in money? One knows how to use money, one does not know. You do not reasoning when you have money. You just feel something. You know that you are a married man. You don't just do what you want, or you just buy cars without the knowledge of your wife. Sit down and talk about the money. Show off to people. Spending money, you're a spender, you want to impress people, but you're not impressing your partner. And when your partner is not working, how do you behave? Your husband is not working, how do you behave? You don't feel love because he's not working. But when he works, you start to show love, which is bad. If you make more money than your partner, make more money than your husband, it doesn't mean you mustn't submit yourself. God said, ladies, submit yourself to your own husband. And when you are talking of money, you can't say, this is my money, I'm waiting for it. It's for us. Because we are one flesh. So the sense of accomplishment, how you do it, in-laws, money, how are you doing it? Bad management, how to recover mistake of finance, how to recover mistake of finance, which means you must admit where you know that you're wrong, you misuse the money, then it's causing many problems in marriage. Poor behavior when you get money. So correct yourself, restore yourself. When you have money, your mind change, which is bad. Number 12, lying. Don't lie to your partner. Being dishonest, don't lie. Don't lie. Always speak the truth. Don't be dishonest. Number 13, be able to understand with silence. Be able to understand with silence. How do you understand? When you are discussing something, you must understand with silence. Don't shout. We were talking about listening. Learn to listen. You must listen. Learn to listen. Number 14, lack of respect to each other. Do you respect your husband? How do you respect your husband? How do you respect your wife? You must respect your husband, your wife. Yes, learn to do that, to respect the way you talk to your husband, the way you talk to your wife. It must show respect. You know, we have different cultures in the whole world. You know what is respect in your culture. You know what is respect in your culture. Like here in Africa, you can kneel down. It shows respect. How do you respect your husband? If you respect your husband, you cannot point him with your finger. You cannot shout him in front of people or to shout him. That's not respect. That's disrespect. You cannot reduce your partner in front of people. You cannot nag him in front of people. That's disrespect. How do you say your husband, to people? How do you talk about it? You cannot nag to people. Talk about the absence of your husband. Talking negative. Although we know you must looking for someone who can help you in your marriage. You need someone who can help you for counseling. Because when you're talking of counseling, which means you need your marriage. You need your marriage. So, lack of respect to each other is bad. Lack of respect to each other is bad. You must respect each other. Maybe it might be a character of your partner, but you must have patience. Marriage needs patience. Number 15, cheating, infidelity, lack of trust. You feel insecure. Lack of, we're still talking of infidelity. But sometimes you say men are always cheating. But sometimes ladies, they don't want sex. Yes, let me be frequent there. And let me be open. Myself openness there. It causes that people to cheat. You must audit sex. Are you satisfied? Are you fine? Or a lot of people, they say, my wife, she don't want to start me about sex. She's always quiet. You know, men, they like that. You start him when you are talking of sex. When you are talking of sex. The art of openness. Number 16, the art of openness. Openness preserve your marriage. Don't swallow everything. So be very careful. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen.